At first glance, this might seem like just another crime story, but I assure you, there's much more beneath the surface. What unfolded in the quiet town of Spartanburg, South Carolina, holds an intriguing mystery with an unexpected twist. The events began to unfold on June 7, 2000, at approximately 3 in the afternoon, when 40-year-old Judy Southern returned from her workday. Her husband Alan wasn't at their residence when she arrived. Upon entering their home, Judy decided to contact Alan at his workplace. However, he had already departed and was en route to their house. This might sound like an ordinary sequence of events, but there's a shocking detail that changes everything. When Judy made that call to her husband, she was already mortally wounded. Upon arriving home, Alan discovered his wife outside their house, lying near the entrance. She was badly injured but conscious. She managed to tell him that an intruder had been inside their home and shot her multiple times, prompting her to flee outside where she attempted to reach Alan at work. When Alan asked who had done this to her, Judy uttered one name: Barry. Without hesitation, Alan lifted his wife and placed her in their car. Rather than waiting for emergency services, Alan rushed Judy to the hospital himself. Tragically, despite their efforts to reach help quickly, the medical team couldn't save her. Judy had lost too much blood and passed away that same day at the hospital. As investigators began looking into the murder, they found that Judy Southern was a well-liked postal worker with no known enemies. Everyone who knew her spoke highly of her character. While these might seem like standard statements in such cases, they were genuinely true. So what could have driven someone to harm this woman? Initially, investigators considered robbery as a motive, but this theory quickly fell apart when they discovered nothing of value had been taken from the house or Judy's purse. The crime scene evidence, however, painted a peculiar picture that raised even more questions. Investigators discovered that the perpetrator had spent considerable time in the house, engaging in rather casual activities, drinking tea, playing on the family's video game console, and even taking time to shower. The house was littered with cigarette butts of a brand that neither Alan nor Judy smoked, clearly left behind by the intruder. Further investigation revealed no signs of forced entry anywhere in the house, and forensics determined that the shooter had used a 9mm pistol, based on the recovered shell casings. Yet these weren't the most crucial findings. Recall that according to Alan, Judy's last words identified her killer as Barry. But this name led nowhere. Who was this Barry? When questioned, Alan, Judy's husband, had no idea who this person could be. Where had Judy gotten this name? The answer came in an unexpected form. Investigators discovered a crumpled piece of paper on the lawn, presumably near where Alan had found his wounded wife. It appeared to be a suicide note, reading, "This is for my wife, Melanie. I love you. I'm sorry it all ended this way. I'm leaving everything I have to my beloved caring wife." The note concluded with a signature, Jonathan, followed by a partially illegible surname. Amongst several possible interpretations, one reading was Barry. This explained where Judy had obtained the name in her final moments. The scenario suggested that she had discovered this note upon entering her home, after which the person lying in wait had shot her. While the note appeared to reveal the killer's identity, investigators hit a roadblock. Their database search showed no one named Jonathan Binney in Spartanburg. However, a closer analysis of the note revealed that the surname was more likely Binney rather than Barry. This conclusion was supported by a crucial detail. The letter was addressed to Melanie Binney, and since the writer identified himself as her husband, it was reasonable to conclude they shared the same surname. Furthermore, the note contained a specific location, 4471, Picolet Road. Investigation confirmed that the Binney family did indeed reside at this address. Finding Jonathan Binney became the investigation's top priority. Yet a puzzling question remained. This man appeared to have no connection to Judy Southern, so how is he linked to her murder? When police visited the Binney residence, Jonathan was nowhere to be found. This led to an extensive manhunt, including aerial searches with helicopters. While some officers were actively searching for Binney, others delved into his background. What they discovered was alarming. Jonathan Binney was already the subject of an ongoing investigation. The case involved Jonathan Binney, who faced serious allegations of sexually assaulting his infant daughter, a horrifying crime, considering the victim was just 3 months old. Having posted bail, he was currently free while awaiting trial for these pedophilia charges. While this disturbing detail shed light on Binney's character, it didn't provide any obvious connection to explain the murder of Judy Southern, who appeared to have no prior relationship with him. Some question whether he was truly the author of the discovered note. However, forensic analysis quickly dispelled any doubts. A handwriting specialist identified numerous distinctive characteristics in the letter formation that matched Binney's unique writing style. Furthermore, the note bore a blood-stained fingerprint that was positively identified as Binney's. The evidence conclusively placed him at the scene of Judy's murder. Law enforcement conducted an extensive overnight search around Binney's residence, initially without results. In an unexpected turn of events, they located him the following morning in what seemed an obvious place, his own house, which had supposedly been searched earlier. He was found in the basement, without a shirt, with 6 nicotine patches adhered to his skin. When questioned about his bizarre behavior, Binney claimed he had attempted to end his life using the patches. During his apprehension, a telling exchange occurred. Binney asked, "She's dead, isn't she?" When the officer responded, "Who?" Binney replied, "The woman I attacked." While this seemed to be an admission of guilt, the case wasn't yet complete. After this exchange, Binney requested legal representation and maintained complete silence. Later, Binney attempted to withdraw his earlier admission. However, the forensic evidence continued to mount against him. Laboratory tests of cigarette butts recovered from the victim's residence revealed DNA from saliva that was an exact match to Binney's genetic profile. The investigation took another significant turn when the murder weapon, a 9mm pistol, was discovered in an open field along the route between Judy's residence and Binney's home. Forensic examination confirmed that the recovered firearm was definitely the weapon used in Judy's murder. Adding to this evidence, investigators discovered a pair of jeans in Binney's residence containing a bullet that matched the caliber of the recovered weapon. The case against Binney seemed ironclad. The handwriting analysis, fingerprint evidence, DNA matches, and the recovered murder weapon all indicated his guilt. Yet one crucial element remained elusive: the motivation behind the crime. There appeared to be no connection between Binney and his victim Judy, raising questions about why he would commit this murder and leave behind what amounted to a written confession in the form of the note. While Binney lacked a clear motive, another individual's potential motivation emerged during the investigation. Investigators uncovered that Judy's husband had secretly installed surveillance equipment to monitor their home telephone conversations. This discovery revealed deeper issues within what appeared to be a picture-perfect marriage. It turned out that Alan was engaged in an extramarital relationship, and he harbored suspicions that Judy was similarly involved with someone else. His surveillance of her phone calls was driven by these suspicions. The deterioration of their marriage had reached such a point that Alan and Judy had begun sleeping in separate bedrooms. They confided in their friends that their cohabitation continued solely for their 5-year-old son's benefit. However, the situation was growing increasingly volatile. A particularly revealing conversation occurred just 2 days before Judy's death, when she revealed to her sister her unwillingness to continue sharing a home with someone she felt completely estranged from. While she had reached the point of considering divorce, her sister later disclosed that Judy harbored deep concerns about this prospect. She was particularly anxious about how Alan would react to divorce proceedings. Most troublingly, Judy had explicitly told her sister that if anything were to happen to her, Alan should be considered responsible. While Alan steadfastly denied any involvement, there were clear advantages he gained from his wife's death rather than divorce. By avoiding legal separation, He maintained custody of their son, which likely would have been awarded to Judy in divorce proceedings. Perhaps most significantly, there was the matter of insurance, a common factor in such cases. The insurance policy on Judy's life would provide Alan with a substantial payout exceeding $100,000. The investigation thus presented a puzzling scenario. Jonathan Binney, against whom substantial physical evidence had accumulated, yet who possessed no apparent motive and had no known connection to Judy, and conversely, Alan, her husband, who while leaving no physical evidence, had compelling motivations for wanting his wife dead. The investigation presented a perplexing scenario. One suspect possessed motive, while the evidence implicated another. Investigators explored the possibility of a connection between Jonathan Binney and Alan Southern, considering whether Alan might have hired Binney to eliminate his wife. Given Alan's strong motives, this theory led to his arrest. Approximately 1 month after the murder, Binney made an unexpected request to speak with detectives, declining legal representation. His subsequent revelation would illuminate the entire case. According to one of the interrogating detectives, Binney's confession ranked among the most unusual he'd encountered in his professional career. The context was crucial. Binney faced an impending trial for pedophilia charges when he killed Judy. During his interview with detectives, he revealed a shocking motivation. He committed murder to ensure he would be imprisoned as a murderer rather than a pedophile. Having learned about the treatment pedophiles receive in prison, he was desperately afraid of such a fate. True to his claim, he had no prior connection to Judy. He described selecting her house entirely at random. After breaking in through an unsecured window, he waited for anyone to return home. In his chilling admission, he stated that his victim could have been any member of the household, Judy, Alan, or even their young son. His sole objective was to claim a life, regardless of whose it might be. Fate determined that Judy would be the first to arrive home that day. She became the random target of Binney's calculated plan, a plan designed solely to secure his imprisonment for murder rather than pedophilia. Meanwhile, Alan had successfully completed a polygraph examination. This fact, combined with Binney's detailed confession explaining his true motive, led to Alan's release from custody. As for Binney, he received a death sentence in 2002, though this was later modified to life imprisonment. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and support the channel by subscribing. See you in the next video.